Parties are incredibly important in Flyff universe, even if it might not seem like it at first. The system's core purpose for existing is to allow people to come together and work on a united goal, but there's much more to it than that. If you've watched any of my guides related to farming in this game, you would be aware that I've heavily stressed the importance of being in an appropriately equipped party for anything that you do. My name is Emenalus, and in today's video, I'll be talking in more depth about parties, how much of a difference they can make, and how to fully utilize them. And maybe a little about giraffes. They're wonderful creatures. Before we get to any specifics, let's start with what you can do in a party. As mentioned before, parties exist for the purpose of allowing up to 8 players to cooperate with each other. This can occur in many ways, such as sharing EXP, distributing item drops, or completing quest objectives together. But on top of this, parties also have their own level system, where anything that's killed with at least 2 players present will grant the party some EXP. The EXP gain depends on the monster's level, with higher level monsters naturally granting more EXP to the party. Once the party reaches level 10, it will stop getting experience until the party leader uses the change button in the party menu, P, to turn it into an advanced party. You give the party a name, and once you're done, the party will start getting experience again. Rather than being just there for a little extra personality and flair though, advancing your party actually grants access to more features in the party menu. If you head over to the settings page in the menu, you can see that, on top of many other things, there's more than one way to distribute the EXP gain in your party. There's the level setting which your party starts with, but also the contribution setting, which unlocks only once your party advances. The difference between these two modes is that level splits the experience gain from killing a monster with all the present players evenly, while contribution grants experience based on how much a player contributed in killing a monster. In the case where someone dealt all the damage to a monster, they'd be virtually gaining all the EXP with some very insignificant amounts granted to others. As to why this detail is so important, it has very much to do with making the most out of your grind. There's also an EXP bonus effect that activates as long as there are other players nearby, and this effect is stronger in an advanced party. While being in a level party with a company might feel more like a double-edged sword, there isn't really anything to lose if you're playing with somebody else with the contribution effect active. The system also works conveniently in a way that if you happen to have a support assist or ringmaster with you, just their healing is enough to grant them a contribution effect without taking away from the experience that you gain, and you'll both benefit. So if the priority was to maximize the experience gains on a character doing all the fighting, regardless of whether the support was your alternate account or another player, contribution would be your choice. Alternatively, if you did want the support or somebody else following you to gain more experience, you can use the level distribution while sacrificing some of the fighter's EXP. This method is called power leveling, and it is often monetized by other players as a boosting service or done to help out a friend in need. Just be aware that the involved players can only be up to 19 levels apart for them both to gain EXP and for the EXP bonus to work properly. And if there are more than 2 players around, the highest level player determines the minimum level required for EXP gains. So, for those who are thinking of making a bunch of those level 1 leeches to follow you around just like in Flyff PC, I'd stop creating those new emails now. Unless you like pretending to be popular, I'm not stopping you. Beyond just experience optimizing features though, there's also additional benefits to being in a party. Remember the party levels that I mentioned before? There's another reason why a system like this exists, and that isn't to raise an army of giraffes. Just one is dangerous enough. As I mentioned before, each time you kill monsters with other players in the vicinity, the party gains experience and level ups. Beyond just unlocking the advanced party controls at level 10, the party keeps leveling past 10 and accumulates points with each passing level. What are these points then used for, you might ask? Party buffs. If you head over to the skills page in your party menu, you'll notice that there's a bunch of different abilities that you can use in the party, and most of these will require points. The first 3 skills serve no other purpose than allowing a party leader to pretend they can boss around, only to realize that the one actually in control is the predator with the sword. The skills unlocked at later levels are quite useful aside from precision, which is the waste unless you really want to min-max and flush all your points down the toilet. The choice is yours, but remember that giraffes will land critical hits regardless. With the less important skills out of the way, let's focus on ones that you should pay attention to. Linked attack and global attack are buffs that increase the party member's attack power. Linked attack boosts the leader's damage by 5%, and global attack boosts each party member's damage by 2.5% for each visible member. If linked attack is not activated, the party leader benefits from the global attack effect just like everybody else, but both effects do not stack on the leader. Generally speaking though, the leader has the greatest potential for having their damage boosted. These skills are great for group fights and dungeons, as each member collectively makes the effect stronger. But even if you were just running with a friend or two, just a few % of the extra damage can make all the difference in speed. Another relevant pair of buffs are the ones that grant you a boost in item drops, lucky drop, and gift box. These are the ones that I've generally always referred to in my farming videos, and even saying that much should already explain why. Lucky drop increases the overall drop chance of items, and gift box increases the amount of items that drop from monsters, and these two buffs combined make for a significant boost in dropped items. These two are an absolute must if you're dealing with low drop rates on high value items such as rare weapons, as the amount of effort into building a party capable of using both of these buffs is pretty small compared to the benefit that it will give you. That's one of the reasons you see people in cities shouting for level 40 plus parties, as this is the minimum requirement for using all of the buffs. Of course, they're not mandatory for dropping anything in the first place, but definitely worth having if you're looking to strike gold. As for the resting buff, well, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think you'll find much use for it, but that's just me. And besides, you should always be on your guard. Now that I've explained these 4 relevant buffs to you, you should now have a better understanding why parties are held in such high regard. But if you've used Party Finder before through the search button in the party menu, you might have also noticed some parties having these weird colorful icons on top of the possibly active buffs. These indicate that the party leader currently has some party scrolls active. Party scrolls are premium exclusive items that apply varying bonuses to the party, and there are 4 different types altogether. Enhanced Party Skill Range, which makes all the party buffs work universally, also known as the Red Scroll. Scroll of Party XP, which increases the amount of XP the party gains by 50%. Scroll of Party Amplification, which allows the party to gain double points from each level up, and Scroll of Party Skill, which makes it possible to stack buffs to increase their duration. There's also the Scroll of Permanent Party, but this doesn't have anything to do with the effectiveness of the party. And I mean seriously, why would you want this thing? What are you going to do with the Permanent Party, people? Flex how your party goes to the hundreds or even thousands of levels, all the while being completely exhausted of points. I mean, go ahead and do what you like, but is this really the one thing that screamed to you that this is money well spent? Anyway, moving on. The point is that, despite parties generally being limited to only people surrounding you, a party that at least has the red scroll active is still useful no matter where the leader is, even across channels. Just like how the buffs range becomes universal, so do the stacking effects of the attack buffs, allowing any existing party member to increase the whole party's damage indefinitely. And more often than not, players have all of the scrolls active rather than only some of them, likely due to the bundle deal of the Scroll of Combined Party Effects, which grants all of the 4 scroll effects for a considerably lower price, which in turn makes these scrolled parties more flexible and last longer. Therefore, you can still benefit from free party effects on your own as long as you're a part of one of these scrolled parties, although typically the party leaders demand you to pull your own weight so you can stay in them. This isn't always the case though, so if you happen to be playing alone and don't want to play with multiple characters, you can always go and try your luck. Just remember that a little kindness goes a long way. With that being said though, that's really all that there is to know about parties. On top of their basic function that allows people to group together, there's many more benefits connected to them than just sharing progression. Therefore, it's best advised that you try taking advantage of parties as often as possible, even if there always wasn't all that many suitable parties available to you. After all, you can say no to free damage, drops, experience, and underground giraffe organizations. Thanks for watching the guide. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed it, and if you were left with any further questions about this topic or anything in general, remember that the comments and my community Discord are always open for transmission. I'm more than happy to answer everything as soon as possible. Thanks again for your interest, and I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, it's bye bye.